Welcome to the greatest hockey show in the world. I know it's not a lot of energy because I found when I go really loud, that's when it cuts out. But good week, everybody. How are you doing? Coming to you live from the DEXexpress, right in the old RV, sitting in a rink parking lot in Laurel, Maryland. Good week. Hope everyone is doing great. Trish, Dan, how are you guys doing?
So
Great,
good.
bud.
Just to clarify, not all three of us are like sardined in the RV right now. Nick
Yes,
is
I'm not. I'm
is
not
live
cuddled up
from
next to Nick right now.
yeah.
But it would be a lot cooler if we were.
It's true.
Yeah.
Just
We'll
saying.
make it happen. We'll make it happen at some point.
One day. One day.
Mhm. All right, so we need you all before we really jump in to go to whatever app that you subscribe to podcasts on and give us a little subscription. Become one of our subscribers. And then if you're on there, you might as well rate and review us as well so that other people can find us. We'd be really appreciative if you did that. That's how other people find us. So you doing that for free is a great way to support us. And then you want to follow us, the BLPA on everything. You can follow Dan at the Danny Vibes on Twitter. I'm Trish Dangle on Twitter. And then Nick, of course, is Nicker Jones on Twitter or the Nicker Jones on Instagram. And then tell everybody about our sponsor, Nick.
So this show is brought to you by the Hockey Wolf. Ow, ow, ow.
Oh,
Oh,
So the Hockey Wolf is a perfect sponsor for our show, the BLPA, the Beer League Players Association. They're perfect because they are a bunch of beer league buttes just like us, and they're trying to make the game more affordable for everyone out there. So you can hit them up for teamwear, for jerseys, for hockey gear. They even have specially branded BLPA stuff. So go check them out, hockeywolf.com, and show them some love because they're showing us some love. So the Hockey Wolf, ow, 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 ow.
oh, oh.
oh!
So what's on the docket today, Trish? Like what are we talking about? We missed last week. Well, didn't miss. You guys actually did record,
Mhm.
but the audio just wasn't of a quality that we could let out because
Mhm.
one of the guests was kind of cutting out. So sorry we missed last week, everybody.
Mhm. Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
we'll
some
get that.
audio
We'll
issues.
re-record that. We'll get it.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Yes, but of course today we have to talk about some BLPA updates because we've got some big Instagram news. And then I want to talk about our beer league or just general hockey heroes. We did touch on that on our episode last week. The what are we going to call it? The unaired episode, I guess. And then I want to talk about what warrants getting booted from a league. We've got a lot of Tom Wilson drama going on. It's starting to die down, but I don't really want to talk about that because everybody's talked about that. I want to talk about your own beer league. And then just in general physical play in beer league and what you can get away with and what you can't.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think Tom Wilson did anything wrong, but that's just me. I mean, it seemed like it was, like you said, it was just kind of like that's a hockey play he does all the time. So, but let's talk about beer leagues because that's what this show is about and the BLP updates. As I said, I'm sitting in the parking lot of a rink in Laurel, Maryland for our second ever BLPA bash. We got 28 teams of hockey playing beer league Buttes just ready to take on the world this weekend. And so we got here a couple days early. I was driving on. I had a riding partner named Mr. Jeff Peck, old Pecky Baby, who fell asleep at like 10 o'clock. And so instead of making it all the way here at 1:30, I threw in the towel and was like, "Wow, I'll just pull over and sleep here." He's over there fucking snoring away. And so it wasn't much of a driving partner. But other than that, man, super, super stoked about the turnout for BLPA Bash. Next weekend, we're in Cleveland for a Dex. Weekend after that, we're in Boston for a Dex, and then moving right along to June, where we have a couple tournaments in Madison, Wisconsin, and then July, we just keep going. We got the Austin BLPA Fest at the end of the month. We got Denver, we got Seattle, so lots on the docket for BLPA stuff. But you want to talk about Instagram and how we fucking blew right past 10,000 followers on there. We might be up to 11,000 now. I haven't even checked today.
Love
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna go check right now. But we did have a little giveaway at 10K. So talk more about. Oh, we're at 12K right now.
Oh,
Wow.
just
What
blowing by
up?
things. So I want to get 10K selfishly because I want to be able to put links in our story so more people could link to what we're doing and be a part of the BLPA. And so we said, hey, listen, when we get to 10K, we're going to give away a VIP draft experience, and that's basically we're going to fly someone out, we're going to put them up in a hotel, and we're going to holy fuck, got a dirt bike gang rolling through. Sorry about that. It's literally a dirt
Steal
bike
it.
gang in a parking lot. Not real motorcycles, like literally dirt, like 125cc motorcycles. There's like 5 of them just going around the parking lot. Wish I had a dirt bike. I'd ride with them.
Dude, time to join the gang.
Yeah, that's a sign.
But yeah, so we're bringing out someone. I can't remember who won, but they did win. I know I played Xbox with the guy before, so pretty stoked about that. He's pretty stoked. He doesn't know which tournament he's coming to, but he said he's here for it and he's ready to come play with us. So
Awesome. And
That's
it's
awesome.
dealer's choice on the tournament, right?
any tournament in the United States, like you can't use it for
Mhm.
Iceland, of course, which
Mhm.
we had to open that up because we sold that out in pre-registration. So now we're moving to 6 teams, and I think we only have like 10 spots left even after we opened it up. So that
Wow.
thing's moving right along as well. So
That's awesome. Wow, y'all are gonna have a blast in Iceland.
Are you
and
not going?
she's going. She's just fucking around. So, hey, we're also going to get into golf tournaments. I got one working in Scottsdale in early December where it's still warm. We could probably swim in the pool in December, but we're also going to play a
Ooh.
lot of golf. So more news coming on that. And I'm not a golfer. Like, I've played before. I played with my parent or my dad like in 2013. I played a lot that summer, but very sparingly since then, maybe one round a year if I'm lucky. And so just the other day, I landed in DC and was like, "Oh, we're going to do a hockey or a golf event soon." So I went and bought some clubs and just put them in the RV. So now I'm going to start swinging the sticks, just ready to put. I've conquered hockey, I've conquered ball in my
Conquered, huh?
life.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
Conquered,
your
yeah.
definition of conquered.
Okay.
I conquered it, and so now I got to conquer golf. And I've always been able to drive the ball a long way. Just go out there and fucking take it to Pound Town. But the putting and chipping has kind of left a bit to be desired. So I'm going to become a sniper around the greens. That's my goal. So
Amazing. Well,
Conquer it.
anytime you decide to put on a mini golf tournament, I am there, but not so big on the actual
Trish, golf is
Well,
the ultimate drinking sport.
yeah, it is
I've
for sure. If you like,
I've been to
if you like
Top
drinking,
Golf.
you can play.
That's about
Well,
it.
Top Golf
Perfect.
is great.
Well, if you've
Yeah,
been to
that's
Top
fun.
Golf, you can play regular golf for sure.
Yeah, all you
Perfect.
got to do, bring your drink of choice. Maybe don't drive the cart. Maybe have somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And see how many holes it takes you to get drunk.
That sounds great.
On a nice day, hole 6, maybe. There have been 1 or 2 outings with buddies where I'm standing there at the tee at hole 7, looking down. I'm like, oh no, I might need to stop.
Well, I'll have to figure out what I'm not gonna finish that sentence. I will get on the golf train. I'll figure that out so I can be ready for
All you got to do
Arizona.
is find
Yeah,
a
you
drink.
can
The rest
conquer it
comes.
too. You can conquer it, Trish. You
I
can do
will
it.
conquer golf.
Just do it.
I'll get there.
Just do it.
All right, I'll do it. I'll just have to get myself some clubs. That's all. We'll figure it out.
Thrift
Okay,
store.
so oh man, yeah, I see some really interesting golf clubs at the thrift store.
There's always clubs at a thrift store.
Are they gonna get me where I need to go though?
Yeah. Oh,
You're
they'll get
just
you where you
starting
need to
out.
go.
They'll take you beyond that. Like you'd be surprised some of the gems you can find there. It's ridiculous.
Perfect. All right, I'll be on a shopping trip this weekend. Try to figure that out. Let's move on though, from my potential conquering of golf onto I want to hear about Nick's beer league hockey hero. We talked about ours on this unaired mystery episode last week, so maybe we'll touch on ours. But Nick, you weren't there, so I want to hear about yours.
All right. Well, I
And
don't
it
know if I
can't be
have
yourself. It can't be yourself.
Well, that's where I was going. I don't really have like I guess a beer league hockey hero. I'd have to say my wife, even though she doesn't play, because without my wife, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm able to do in beer league. Like literally, I'm sitting in a parking lot in Laurel, Maryland. My wife's back home with the kid in Calgary, Alberta, and I'm gone for 3.5 weeks. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about someone that makes my beer league dreams come true, it would have to be my wife, Tanis. But on the ice, Man, I don't know. I've never really thought about. There's not anyone that really inspires me, per se, to play beer league. I just love playing, so it's just one of those things. I like what are the parameters of what makes a beer league hero?
No, I honestly think like your wife was a phenomenal answer.
Yeah, I think wife was a great
Thank you.
answer.
Thank you.
I mean, I get it. Like, I mean, God, I've known you for so long. Like, at some point, like, I'd love to meet Tanis. You know, the brains behind Nick. So, no, I think that's a great answer. You could throw out, you know, your partner that helped you create a beer league empire, probably. You know,
Fuck that guy.
pump some
Fuck that
tires.
guy. fuck that guy, Randy. Long hair having son of a bitch. No, Randy's. I heaped enough praise on him a couple episodes ago. That's all he's getting from me.
That's it for the year.
Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Wait, he was on the episode last week. Was I his beer league hero?
You'll have to listen. Did you not listen to the whole thing?
No, I could. That's why I'm not releasing it, because I couldn't even get through it because it was just bugging me with the cutting in and out.
So we're gonna re-record it, but he said a lot of really nice things about you. I do think you should give it a listen.
Hey,
Yeah,
if he said he's my beer league hero, then I'm going to reciprocate and take back all those other things I said. But
don't take back the wife, man. If she's gonna listen, like, you're gone this long, don't go home. Don't go home if you're taking it back.
Listen, I think you got it twisted if you think my wife listens to anything that I do. The only thing she listens to is when I'm leaving and when I'm coming home.
She's just gonna hold it over you one day, out of nowhere.
I don't think so. Okay, well, Randy's number 2 in my books then.
Number 2. All right, that's good. Dan,
and everyone else that ever told me I couldn't fucking do it, I guess they're my hero too, because I fucking prove them wrong every fucking time I do something.
8 years
Fuck
in the making.
him.
Fueled by spite. Fueled by spite.
Well, hey, everyone has to have something that gets them going, right? So.
Oh yeah, haters are your motivators.
I don't got any haters, I don't think.
I'm sure you have one or two.
There's gotta be one or two.
Just we all people have one or two.
Jealousy.
If you're a hater, rate us 5 stars.
Well, hey, here's the deal. I don't hate anybody, just so you'll know. I strongly dislike people for the way that they act and treat people, but I don't hate them. Even if they've done wrong by me, I still don't hate. I feel sorry for them a little bit, for people that are like that. But hey, they have to live with that. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about people like that. Like, I mean, I do have some motivation to prove people wrong that tell me no, but once I prove them wrong, like, what's the point of that anymore, right? Like, you just kind of go on. Like, I do what I like doing, and, you know, people say no, or hey, they don't like it. Well, hey, everything that I do isn't for 100% of the people out there. Like, I know I can't please everyone, so you just keep going. So take that with you as a lesson that you learned on the BLPA Big Show is, hey, just do what you like, and if you're proud of it, then it's fucking good. Don't listen to everyone else. You can use the hate for motivation, but once you prove them wrong, you just then they're meaningless to you.
There you go. I've started turning around my dislike and my hate and just being embarrassed for that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, you know why? Because hate is so consuming. Like, I spent a lot of time hating, like, my ex-employers for what they did to me, and then I was like, why am I wasting so much time? Like, they can't do what I can do, and so why am I hating them for giving me an opportunity to do what I can do on my own? And it's been perfect. Like I work less. I do better than what I did working for them, and I'm free just to do what I want at my own leisure, and not have people say, oh, that's not a good idea, we don't think that's a good direction. And so, like, I spent all this time, like, being pissed off at them when they wrongfully terminated me, proven by the Alberta government, I might add. But at the end of the day, you're like, why am I wasting my time on these guys? Are losers, so why waste my time on a bunch of losers? And so, it just consumes you to a point. So I just kind of realized that hate is one of those things that it brings you everything around you down, and you can waste so much time and so many good ideas and so much energy that you could put into doing other stuff. So why hate people? Just say, I feel sorry for them. Like, sucks to be them.
Sucks to
and
suck.
move along with your life and
Mhm.
don't think about it. And which does suck because then people, like, I don't think about it until people come and say, "Oh, look at this," and I'm just like, "Well, like, they can do what they want to do, I guess." I don't know, but yeah, hate's such a wasted energy emotion. Like, for when you hate someone, you should just be like, "Well, they don't matter to me," so the hate should be you just forget about them, because that's going to hurt them way more than you dwelling on them, really.
Mhm. You're definitely right. Okay, we're gonna move on to more positive vibes.
Oh yeah.
We're going to, or maybe not more positive vibes. We're not going to talk about Tom Wilson, but inspired by the shenanigans that went on with him recently, I was curious, and like what I've seen happen on the ice at my games and stuff. I was curious if y'all have ever seen anybody get like booted from a league or like a major suspension or
Oh yeah.
anything like that, and what warranted that, and what do you think should warrant getting booted from a league?
Well,
Yeah.
I think Warren. I think if you fight, you should be kicked out of your league. But here's the deal: I didn't grow up playing hockey, and I'm not myself not good enough to fight. And I remember when I started playing, my wife said, "Listen, you can't even skate, so if you're gonna fight, just don't even bother suiting up because it's not for you." And I saw a lot of beginners fighting, especially in Oklahoma, because I think back then a lot of people just thought that's what you weren't a hockey player unless you were fighting, right? And so they thought that's what the game was about. And so I just thought, well, fighting never had its place in beer league. But as I started working in adult hockey and getting around way more skilled players and listening to them, for them, like, I don't think anyone just likes to fight. Maybe there's a couple weirdos that just they get their rocks off on chucking nucks on Sunday night 11 o'clock game for the beer league, maybe, but those people are probably psychotic in real life too. But it was explained to me that, hey, sometimes people come out on the ice, and whether they've had a bad day or whatever, and they do things they shouldn't do, whether it's getting their stick up or hacking in the hands. And if you tell them to stop and they don't stop, well, there has to be some sort of consequences for those actions. And if we get in a fight and they get punched in the face, then they usually think different about things going forward, and tend to not do the stuff that they shouldn't be doing. So I understand that higher level guys use fighting as a deterrent. And so that kind of puts me at odds with, well, fighting has nothing to do in beer league. So I guess I kind of have to say fighting shouldn't be in the lower levels because a lot of the people aren't skilled enough to understand what they're doing. But if you've played hockey your whole life and that's the only deterrent you have to make people not play recklessly and dangerously, then maybe it is warranted. But going out of your way to intentionally injure or harm someone, it should definitely get you kicked out of the old beer leagues.
I think we've talked about, like, touched on this before, maybe I'm imagining things, that like folks that start playing hockey as an adult and have never been exposed to a lot of hockey as like a youth, they tend to come into hockey and think like, oh, it's all about fighting, it's all about the physical play, that's all hockey's about. And like if you
Yeah,
grew
it's a
up
very
playing hockey,
outdated
you know that
view.
that's different. Yeah. Yeah.
No, like I've seen not team expulsions, but like we had there was a league that I played in. There were no divisions for whatever reason. And there was one team, and it was a Warriors team, which we didn't know at the time, but like we hated playing them every time because people are just throwing full on checks, or like Nick is saying, like slashing the hands, just all this physical play that doesn't necessarily belong in beer league, or doesn't. It was just so over the top and aggressive, like they were attacks. So people are getting suspended left and right after like repeat offenders. They're getting kicked from the league. Like at one point, like by the time we met them in the playoffs, they had like 4 skaters of their original roster left
Oh,
out of
wow.
16 because people are just getting booted. And eventually, like after 2 seasons of that, the whole team wasn't allowed to play in that league anymore. They signed up for another league. That's when we found out that they were like the Sabres Warriors, the vets.
Hmm.
And they recognized us, we recognized them. We had conversations with them, obviously, like they have they got stuff going on in their head. Like they've they've served our country, they've seen things and done things that we haven't or could never understand. So it definitely gave us more of an appreciation for that. Their physical play came down a bit, I think, because they had been kicked out of an entire league, which is like I've never heard of a whole team getting booted from a league except for this.
Yeah.
They still play now. They're much better than they were before. But I think it's repeat offenders, and like when there's the intent to injure, which not every ref can see that, because they've got to look at a lot, and also like the refs are usually just beer league guys looking to pick up some extra cash.
Yeah.
They're not professional referees for beer league, so like how much do they really want to be bothered with what's going on? But
Yeah.
I think it's definitely repeat offenders fighting in beer league, like especially at the mid to lower levels. Like, just what are you doing?
Yeah.
No one except you gives enough of a shit to do it.
Well, I think the fighting that happens in the lower levels, comes from those people that are like the adults coming in that think that that's part of hockey, and also games that get out of hand because the refs aren't doing their job.
Yeah,
and
like if the refs don't take control of the game, things can get bad.
And I think refs get a lot of crap.
Have either of you guys been punched in the face before?
Well, I have, but I have a cage on, if we're talking on the ice.
But I mean, like, legitimately, someone fucking tries to shove their face or their fist through your face. Either of you ever been punched?
Like in a fight?
Yeah.
Not without
like
a cage on.
I did karate before hockey, but it wasn't like we're not trying to kill each other.
Have you?
I have, but yes, multiple times. Multiple times have I been punched in the face, and multiple times have I punched people in the face through my years, and it is not pleasant. Like, I don't know why people want it, like why people are all about wanting to fight in beer league, because getting punched in the face, and probably anywhere really, getting punched does not feel good. So why would you want to put yourself in a position to open yourself up to getting punched in the face? That's
because
the number one reason
cool.
why I don't fight. It's not cool. It hurts.
I know that.
Yeah,
I can say without getting punched in the face that I don't want to get punched in the face.
No, it's the people that want to brag about being tough guys on the ice when like they can't tie their own skates, so they're just trying to throw fists at people.
And they're throwing punches with gloves on or with people with cage. Maybe they have the cage on. I think honestly, if we just lined up everyone in this fucking world and someone walked by and punched them right square in the fucking mouth, they'd be like, you know what? I don't want to do that. Maybe that's what we'll do for like a BLPA league. All right, here's the BLPA league. Everybody register, but before the first game, we're going to line every single person up, and someone's going to walk by and just fucking punch you right in the chops. And if you liked it, then okay, you have a green light to fight other people that liked it. But if you didn't like it, then you probably shouldn't be fighting, because this is what fighting feels like.
Feels bad.
Yeah, fair.
It feels bad. It sucks. Maybe we'll start doing that at draft experiences, just for fun. Funsies.
That'll be late into Friday night.
Friday night fight night.
There we go. Hope there's a lawyer on retainer. No, I just can't. I mean, I get mad sometimes at a game, but I can't imagine like actually fighting somebody. I'll throw a lot of words around, but when it comes down to it, I got a cage on. You probably have a cage on, unless you're a risky boy and you are rocking a shield or something, a half shield. But I don't know. I think it's so embarrassing to watch the fight start on the ice. Like it's rarely ever warranted. It's usually like the game got out of hand and nobody can keep a cool head anymore. And I that's one of the times where I'm like, this is embarrassing, and I'm embarrassed to have you on my team.
Hey, you know what is fun though? And this usually escalates things, but it is fun. Is like face washing people. Not hard.
Oh yeah.
Not maliciously. Yeah. But if you get a stinky glove and you just rub it in their face, it's very satisfying to do that to somebody.
You're saying you've never done it maliciously.
Oh well, I'm angry. Yeah, but I'm not trying to hurt. I'm not trying to hurt them. I'm just trying to be like, you know what? If you're gonna keep being a dummy, or maybe I was a dummy, I don't know. But if you're gonna keep doing this, well, here, have a taste of this. And that's satisfying to me. I'm not hitting them hard. I'm just grabbing them. You give them a little scrub, but that always escalates things. So it's not the best thing, but it is satisfying to do.
I have people do that to me in like a joking way because I'm short and they think it's funny to do that.
But you have a cage. I can't even face wash you with a cage.
over the cage, which is annoying because then it like rattles my head around.
Yeah, that's no. You gotta get someone who's got like a visor and you can really get in there and like you can feel their nose.
I would
Yeah, that's
love to do that. I have a little list of people I would love to do that to.
I
Well,
got
time
a
to start.
pretty good idea
Yeah, I
who's
guess
on
so.
the top of the list. So
Yeah, but we
Who?
need to talk about him.
well, he wears a cage,
Oh.
so
So it doesn't matter.
hard to do. Yeah, hard to do. Hard to do. All
It's a
right,
little
next topic.
rattly that way. Well, I actually like based on that conversation. This wasn't on the list, but I'm curious about what the ref situation is like in your leagues. So for my league, one of my leagues, our refs don't have to be USA Hockey certified, and they don't have to show up to games apparently when they just don't feel like it. So the reffing is subpar. Some are definitely better than others, but recently it's been absolute trash. So I've been curious, and like other rinks that I play at, they're USA Hockey certified. They're doing a pretty okay job most of the time. Like, can't really complain for beer league. But I like have been so frustrated at my one rink that I was just curious what it's like for y'all. Like, do you always have two refs? Are they certified? Like, what goes on there?
So the league I play in, they don't have to be certified with Hockey Canada, but they do have to show up. If they don't show up, I know like just from the back end, like working in that, what would happen in our league is if a rep didn't show up, he would be fined. And if he got so many fines, they just wouldn't hire him out again, and he had to pay the fine before he could ref again. So that was a pretty good deterrent. And then also the good thing about the league is that if you only had one ref show up, you were credited with a certain amount for not having that ref show up.
Wow, that would be nice.
But that being said, not all the refs were the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
That's just with all of them. But at the end of the day, you have to realize you're playing hockey at 10:45 at night or 10:30. These guys aren't pro level refs. And here's the deal, we did have refs that have repped in like the WHL and higher level hockey, and people still said they'd complain about those guys too, right? So I think it's just one of those things where across the board, like, no one likes their officials, right? I had problems with very few officials in the league. I've had some instances with tournament officials before, but at the end of the day, you know, all of us have had times where we get mad at the refs and do, say dumb things or fly off the handle. But for the most part, like, they're just beer league ref. Like, you shouldn't treat them like they're supposed to be pros or know 100% of the rules, because the fact of the matter is you don't know 100% of the rules. So how can you hold somebody to a standard that you can't even hold yourself to?
For sure, but I would say that if you are reffing the game, you should know more rules than me.
Oh, not necessarily. Like, they're not going to know. I'm sure there's NHL refs that still learn stuff when they're making $150,000 a year. So you can't just say you should know way more. Like, it is what it is. Like, these guys.
I just said more. Like,
It's
I don't
just a
know.
second
I've never
job.
read. Yeah, but they should know the rules of the game, like the basic rules of the games. I've had refs that like didn't know basic stuff, and that was, again, embarrassing. But I also think that like be lax on offsides, be lax on icing, whatever, but like call a safe game, like make sure everybody gets home safe, because again, it's a 10:45 game on a weeknight. I'd like to go home without a concussion.
Well, that's
can't always get
cool
what
and
you
understandable. 100% that's cool and understandable, but that you can't say refs need to do that. Like, at some point, players also have to look at themselves and say that's not their job. Their job is to officiate a game,
which includes making sure that, like, ensuring the safety of the players.
That's not true. So you think if two players get in a fight, then it's their job that they have to go in and break it up because that keeps the players safe?
Oh, no, absolutely 100%, not. But they should be making penalty calls to keep the game in control.
But penalties are subjective. So you can't say a hard yes. Penalties 100% are subjective in every level of the game. They are, but a lot of this has to fall on the players too, and having the responsibility to step up and say, we're beer leaguers. Just because a ref doesn't call a penalty doesn't mean we have to escalate it to the point of getting in a fight. Like, that's just what I believe. I believe there's a form of maturity, and I'm not saying that I've practiced it 100% of the time. I'm not perfect. I'm not a deity. So I've messed up too, but in my heart of hearts, I believe that a lot of the stuff that you see that in beer league, you can't just blame on the officials. You have to blame a lot of it on the maturity of the players at hand. Officials are going to make mistakes officiating, just like you're going to make mistakes playing on the ice. So you can't say that's their job, because I don't feel their job is to keep players safe.
It is absolutely part of their job to keep players
It is their
safe.
job.
Nope, I don't believe that.
If you take the USA hockey courses, like it is 100% a part. It is their job to keep players' safety. Granted, it's not their entire job. Games need to run, and like you're saying, like it is usually these guys' second job, and they want to go home. But I don't.
How come the director of player safety in the NHL is not an official?
I mean,
well, that's a lot different than beer league.
Scratch my back, scratch yours. Like, we already know that I don't think the guy running the player safety for the NHL was the right hire when they hired him, but it is what it is, and we move past it.
That's also people's jobs. Like, it's their job to play hockey. So there's, just like any company has departments of people, they're going to have departments of people, and that just has to be one of them. Our, USA Hockey is technically the Department of Player Safety for any USA Hockey sanctioned events, and the refs are representative of that if they're USA Hockey certified.
See, in the big league here, you have to be USA certified to ref. That doesn't make you a good ref by any means, but you at least had to go through, the weekend of training. Like, it turns out good refs. It turns out, bad refs that just want to ref beer league for the extra money because, God, fees go up every freaking session at this point.
Yeah.
But I've also played in leagues where like they don't have to be certified, and it's just guys that play in the league that know the people that run it, and they want refs. And that can be good or bad. Like, I have good relationships with them, and it was bad in years past because like I've gotten chippy with them on the ice, and it can lead to me maybe getting a call I might not deserve. But I think Nick is a little bit right. Like, calls are a little bit subjective, because if you just go straight by the rule book, everyone's in the box.
There's a whistle every 20 seconds.
So you can't make every call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that, like, I'm literally looking at like a Hockey Canada roles and responsibility, officiating duties for referee and linesman, and I don't see anything here that says keep the player safe. So we can't say that their job is to keep a player safe. That is not the job of an official. A job of an official is to officiate a game and to try to keep the game in order and to make sure all the rules are adhered to in a game.
But don't the rules exist for player safety? Like slashing.
A lot of them
slashing call exist if it wasn't for player safety?
Yeah. And I'm not saying it falls solely on the ref, because it absolutely falls on the players as well.
Yeah,
but
I think it's both.
Yeah, like if you have somebody on the ice who's a hothead, who's getting away with a lot of stuff that like should be penalties, and they know they're getting away with it, and their mentality is, oh, if I can get away with that, I'm gonna keep doing it, and I'm gonna maybe see what else I can get away with. Like, that's where problems start. Like, if you nip that in the bud and you say, like, okay, I'm going to start calling penalties early just so everybody knows that I'm taking this seriously, that's going to maybe stop somebody who would escalate a situation.
Yeah, and like I've played in a league where like I'm playing in the league, but I'm also reffing that league. And that was a league that didn't need me to be certified, so like, I knew the general stuff, but like I didn't know all the rules by any means. Like you're saying, like I should know more than the players. Like, sure, some I did, some I can tell you I didn't. But like it is a fine line. Like, you should know the troublemakers pretty early on in the game and try to not necessarily focus on them or like look for a call, but you do want to keep the game moving, but keep players safe. But at the same time, like refs just don't see everything.
For sure, and like, it's more frustrating when Yeah.
I found it very difficult to see everything. Like if you're sitting on the bench, I honestly feel like you can see every slash, every tripping call.
Hmm.
But when you're out there on the ice, like trying to focus on, one ref has to focus on, where the puck is, the other ref needs to watch the rest of everything else, and like
Hmm.
you just miss stuff constantly.
Yeah. I think the calls that frustrated me the most are like things that are blatantly happening like at the play.
Honestly, sometimes they just, like the ref could see it and like in their head be like, "Oh shit, that was really bad." But now they've taken the time to think that instead of actually make the call, and too much time has gone by to make it.
Oh, I know because that happened to me like a couple weeks ago where it happened right next to the ref and he went, "Oh, I can't believe he did that to you." I was like, "Oh, but that's it?"
Yeah, I watched
Okay. I guess that's
the
it.
first game I ever refed. I watched a player take an opposing player's stick and throw it right in front of me.
Hmm.
And I was just so shocked that this had happened that I was just like in my mind like, "Holy shit, he just fucking did that." And never made
And
the
then you
call. And he
yeah.
just looked at me. I was like, I'll make it up, but I'm sorry."
So sorry.
Like, whoops.
I was in shock.
I was, and I fucked up real bad.
Yeah. Okay, well then so here's another similar question. If you have a player in a league who is constantly starting shit, like they are known to be a shit disturber, they like try to hurt people, they're not playing the game, they're just out there playing dirty every single game. People complain about them all the time. Like
That's
why
on
are
the
they
league.
still playing in the league?
That's on the league. Like for the big league here, like if there's issues like that, there's always a meeting with the head of the referees association and usually USA Hockey representative. But it's on the league for disciplinary action. Like all the
Mhm.
referees can do is like make it known.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like obviously like teams are like players on teams are always gonna bitch about something. Like no one's happy.
Mhm.
Like
Oh, of course not.
no one's happy, but it falls on the league to actually follow through with disciplinary action. And sometimes they just don't. They don't care enough. Like they just want your money. They're gonna move forward, or maybe they'll have the meeting with said player and be like, "Hey, this is what's up. If you mess up again, you're out." And maybe
Mhm.
they're good the rest of that season, depending on when that happens. But it always starts back up.
Yeah.
But leagues don't want to. I think, at least our big league here, I think they're afraid to get rid of a player because they're worried the team will go with it,
Mm,
which I think is
yeah.
rarely the case. Because sometimes those players on that team, like their team doesn't necessarily want them.
I've definitely seen that before. Or like I've watched guys get kicked out of the game and people are like, "That's fine, we don't really
Yeah, it's
care."
like, sweet, now we can play.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. Nick, have you seen a lot of that? Like just like straight up douchebag behavior and
Well,
over the border?
the leagues I play in have penalty minute limits. So basically, if
Limits.
you get so if you get 30 penalty minutes in a season, and this is a 30-game season, if you get 30 penalty minutes, you get a 1-game suspension. If you get 40 penalty minutes, you get 2-game suspension, and if you hit 50 penalty minutes, then you're suspended for a year. So
Oh,
Okay.
it really
I like
weeds
that.
out it really weeds out the dummies. And because
Mhm.
if you fight, well, one, in this league, if you fight, you're kicked out forever,
Mhm.
at least for a year before they review it. But anytime you get a game misconduct, I mean, that's 10 minutes, right? So if you do that 5 times, one every 6 games, well, you're suspended for a year. So
Mhm.
and then they also do it for teams as well. I can't remember the exact one, but I think it was in I think 30 games. If you got 300 penalty minutes, they wouldn't invite you back to the league, which is hard in some leagues. I get it because it's a revenue driver.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, with this league, I saw some teams hit 300, and what they did is they just, because they were friends of the league, they just had them change their team name and captain, and they let it in. But in
Oh.
theory, if you've got the stones, if you've got the huevos to honor that stuff goes a long way with getting that kind of stuff out of the game, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I've never heard that before, but I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, like I have leagues where like if you get 3 penalties a game, you're out for that game. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
rule
for
similar
for
the
to
whole
us too.
season, I don't think I've seen that. I like
yeah.
that a lot.
Well,
Mhm.
it definitely keeps things down when you know that there's consequences for penalty minutes. But then also it was but then also, I mean, there were times where, teams would be close to that mark, and so they'd forfeit a couple games going into the playoffs so they didn't get suspended. But
Wow.
here's the other thing. Here's one thing I wanted to bring up. We're talking about penalties and all that kind of stuff. One thing that I saw was, a lot of people online talking about, oh, well, if your team's going to forfeit, please tell us, or talking about teams forfeiting games. And I reach out to them and they say, yeah, they just forfeit, and then we go about our day. And I'm like, what the hell? Like we pay $10,000 for a season, and so games are like worth gold. So when a team forfeits, it's a big deal. So there's lots of rules in leagues up there where if your team forfeits a game, so if you don't show up or you don't have a goalie or whatever, not only do you give up that game that you just forfeited, you have to give one of your games to the team that you forfeited to, because it wasn't their fault that you forfeited. So why should they have to suffer? So I think that's a good rule too. Yeah,
I like that too. We don't have that. We have a fee we have to pay, and all the leagues I'm in, where if we forfeit, we have to pay. I think one league is it's just like $100, but I think in the bigger leagues it's pretty hefty because they don't want
probably
to
like half of the ice at least.
I think it might be more in some cases.
I know for one of my leagues, you have to pay for half the sheet of ice. But that's a different league. That's our women's league. So the teams are buying their own ice and dealing with that. But the one men's league, there's no penalty at all.
What? It's just none?
No. So it's like, yeah, you forfeit. Okay, there's ice there if you want to skate on it. But other than that, you're kind of screwed. So, there's been times where guys have tried to get people together to at least have, a drop-in skate on the ice that they have, but you're just screwed out of a game at that point.
So, just so you know, I got 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. So, I think one of the things that's been, burning on my mind that I wanted to get y'all's opinions on, because we all know that ranch is allegedly king, not in my mind, and people love to put ranch on pizza, and that's a complicated issue, but we've talked about that enough in the Facebook group, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on pineapple on pizza, because that's also a contentious topic.
That's disgusting. Here's the deal. It's the same way with ranch and blue cheese. I don't give two shits what you like. I don't care. If you like blue cheese, good for you. I'm not going to say you're a disgusting fucking human being.
But that's what you're gonna think.
Maybe, but I'm not gonna hold it against you and say you're a bad person because you don't like what I like. Me personally, I think pineapple on regular pizza is disgusting. Now, that being said, there is a such thing as fruit pizza. Pineapple definitely belongs on fruit pizza. I just don't think it belongs on pizza with tomato sauce, cheese, and usually Canadian bacon or ham.
What's fruit pizza?
Well, yeah, what the hell's fruit pizza?
You never seen? So the fruit pizza. Do
you mean the dessert pizza from Pizza Hut?
Yeah, kind of. My wife has made fruit pizza before. It's got a sugar cookie, as the crust. And then they put some kind of spread on it, like cream cheese, like raspberry cream cheese.
Oh, yeah,
bread.
Yeah. It's usually the fruit dip stuff.
Yeah, but hey, here's another one. There's a s'more pizza at Papa Murphy's. Oh, boy. That thing, listen, I'll eat that whole motherfucker, go into a diabetic coma, wake up and do it again the next day. That's how good a s'more pizza is. But I don't think that pineapple belongs on a regular pizza.
Do you not not a hot fruit person?
Hot fruit?
Or a grilled pineapple, or a hot hot.
You know what? The best fruit is when you go to
I love
the
cinnamon sugar plantains that they give you while you're eating.
That's good too.
Oh my God.
That's good too. Yep.
So it's not hot fruit. It's more like the combo of it's tomato sauce and cheese with.
And listen, when we talk about pizza, I'm pretty plain guy. I like a pepperoni pie. Okay. Mm-hmm. Occasionally I'll go a little crazy. If I go to Blaze, I usually get pepperoni ham and some bacon, and then have them put a little balsamic drizzle on it. That's good, but for the most part, I'm eating just a pepperoni pie, maybe pepperoni and Canadian bacon / ham, whatever you want to call it. But
Canadian
when you
bacon and
order,
ham are not the same thing, and we don't need to
they
talk
are
about that today.
they
But
are in the States. But when you say Canadian bacon up in Canada, they give you actual bacon. So if you're
yeah,
wanting Canadian bacon, you want to just ask for ham up there. So
yeah, it's a stark realization for Canadians in America when you ask for Canadian bacon and you get ham. Very sad, very sad. Dan, are you team pineapple on pizza or not?
I mean, I've had it. I don't know. Like,
Don't
I'm
care.
kind of
doesn't
with Nick,
matter
like,
anyway.
I go, like, I think a pizza place, like, you know if
Hey,
it's
wait
good
a
or bad
second. Wait
based
a
on the
second.
cheese
Wait
and
a second.
pepperoni.
Wait a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
What's up?
Hey, wait a second. We have I have some a message from the peanut gallery here in the RV with me, and he
Hey,
said the peanut gallery said, "Fuck Dan." So
Well, I mean, I've been messaging him, and he's got other words for you, bud. But I'll let you guys figure that out since you're living together for next week.
Oh, wow.
What word
Stir
you
the
got for
pot
me,
right
Peck?
as we have to end the podcast.
I'll
move.
snatch it. I'll snatch his fucking phone right out of his hand and read all them fucking messages, Dan. I'm not afraid to do that.
Just chuck it right out the window. Tell him to get fucked.
I will tell him to get fucked. Hey, why don't you fafo over there, Peck? Fuck
Oh,
around
boy.
and find out.
I can't wait to see how y'all have what's the word? Degraded by next week.
No, we'll be good. Me and Peck, we love each other, man. Bro,
just
hey,
mentally.
Bro,
Just mentally.
hey, bros fight sometimes. Sometimes they take off their shirts and do topless wrestling. You know, that's just what happens in brotherhood. You know.
Is that what was happening today?
Well, no, I
Check
wanted
your
to
Snapchat
punch.
church. That's definitely what happened today.
I
No shirts
wanted
were
to punch
worn
him
on
in the
this day.
face. I wanted to punch him in the face when he was fucking snoring when I was driving down the fucking road at 1:30 in the fucking morning. That's what I wanted to do. But hey, but I didn't. I was like, you know what? Peck's had a hard day working, killing bugs.
You should have faked a crash.
No, I'm not gonna fake a crash. I mean,
no.
you know, I just was like, man, it would be nice if there was someone else driving right now. And when fucking Peck's over there.
I would have woke him up and tossed him the keys, like, your turn, bud. Let's go. And just see if he makes it or not. Go on the adventure, man.
No. Yeah, no, because if he doesn't make it, then I likely don't make it, and I got
Nick,
some other
you
things that I got to do with
to
my
get the
life.
biscuit, bud.
I've got the biscuit, and So, all right, hey, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. You guys finish this up yourself. Everyone else have a good week. I'm gonna say it right now because I have to leave. Be good or be good at it. See you guys later. Big gulps, eh?
Oh, he's just gone.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what he wanted us to finish because that was really
he wants to finish?
the end
That
of
was the ending.
So here's a bonus ending for everybody in case he chooses to use this in the podcast. Thanks for joining us this week and for putting up with Nick on the road, tired brain today. And hopefully we'll have our wits about us a little bit more next week. And I'm sure we'll hear about some more topless RV wrestling. Probably not the kind you would look forward to, but who's to say? I'm not going to judge what you're into. So, Dan, do you have anything else to say?
I'm speechless. I feel abandoned.
Yeah, no, that's what it feels like. Well, I guess I'll say it again. Be good or be good at it.